We're controlled by fear. Everything we do is based on the consequence of achieving whatever we set out to achieve. Without fear, we wouldn't enjoy the fruits of our risk taking. Without it, you just can't get it. It's impossible to get. It seems like everything that appears to be at a distance when we look around the world and or our communities or other people, and we want what appears to be things that are going to make us happy. We Everyone wants different things. Some people want money, and some people want love, and some people want friendship, and some people want family. Some people just want to travel. There's a variety of different things that humans want in their life, and the only thing that stops them from getting it is the fear of not succeeding. That's the only thing that stops people from trying. The fear of not succeeding. You might fail. You might get rejected. You might appear somewhat silly in what you're doing, um, in feeling vulnerable because you're doing things that most people make excuses not to do. I think if you can become aware of your cues of not doing the things that you need to do to achieve whatever that is. If you can pick yourself up on when you pull back and when you don't go forward, when you don't take a risk, when you stay in a comfort zone where it's familiar, people will want to stay there generally. And not because they're conscious of staying there. Um, Again, it's going in the places where you've never been. It's constructing a new you. It's constructing a new way. It's developing a new approach to overcoming oneself. And it's important to overcome yourself, because sometimes that self is is very familiar. It's all you know. And to create something different in one's life, it's going to require a new way of doing things that people do prior to accepting and getting that we are all responsible at that point when we're confronting with taking risks to improve our lives or to improve our standard of living or to resonate with what you want, with your feelings or your thoughts, whatever it is. But at that point, you become aware of what you're doing. And the more you become aware of what you're doing, the more you're going to be armed. And it is like having armor because when you become aware of yourself more, hopefully you'll stop making excuses for your life. And hopefully you'll start to become aware of seeing within yourself how it's you that has stopped progression to have a life that most people dream and think about at times during the course of a lifetime. There's one other element to achieving, and there does need to be some luck involved in it. Sylvester Stallone was talking about Rocky on YouTube last week. I was watching an interview with him, and he said, for all intents and purposes, um, that that friggin' script Rocky and the movie that shouldn't have been anything if you want to compare it to a lot of other boxing movies that came along prior to Rocky. There had been many, but none of them was impactable as much as that movie. And you know, Stallone, he acknowledged that there needed to be some kind of magic for it to become what it ultimately did become. But I would rather be in that position of doing everything that I can possibly be aware of in respect to sabotaging myself and being aware of my own behaviour, which could be a detriment to attaining something successful in a life. So there's the fate side of it, or you want to call it luck. Um, but there's one thing that is rings very true in my life, is that I firmly believe every one of us we make our own luck by our effort. I never got a shot at anything when I had the attitude that I had when I was a heroin addict and a criminal and a person with a really bad attitude upon the world and the community at large. It was everybody else's fault. And in that framework, I didn't allow myself to find any other um, points of reference that I could improve on within myself. That could be a part of that's stopping me getting out of the holes I was in. It wasn't until I started digging into areas where there was nothing to dig for. To be perfectly upfront and transparent with you guys, there was nothing to dig for in there because I firmly believed it was everybody else's problem. Um, I developed a new set of principles and a new way of seeing things and a belief system out of sheer. Um, I had enough. I didn't have any new principles within me to work with. I had to develop them. I had to develop principles of respect and listening to people and watching myself and picking myself up on how I was conducting um, myself in respect to my attitudes and my behaviours in life. And, I had to develop that. I had to create something new within me. So I was working with a blank page, so to speak. And I think most of us do work with a blank page. I really do. I've said this on a number of occasions. It's not a conscious thing that we're aware of what gets in the road of achieving, of developing, of goals, of dreams. There was a lot of things in the way for me, and there's still things in the way for me. I'm still learning, and I won't stop till the day I die. I've still got things to learn, and that shouldn't stop. And it does get better. Well, it's got better for me with age. There's a lot of freedom where I'm at the moment. A lot of peace, a lot of contentment, a lot of security. I just know more, and I know more from the work I've done. It all comes back to the work that I've done on myself and the continuous taking accountability for everything um, that I do, and yeah, it works. It really does work. It really does. But it's important to go within. I'll I won't move away from that. And going to places where there's nothing to work with, that's new. That's new. And that's why it's so hard for people to get it as far as the complete responsibility for what we do as individuals. It's very hard. But life will show you that it keeps coming back to responsibility. It just keeps putting it in people's faces in so many ways. It's all about the accountability. We've got laws in our society that's based on it. We've got apparently religion maturity that's based on it. Um, and in the community, people seem to be better well taken when they're not emotionally demanding, when people are more emotionally competent by by a passion or an insight to improve oneself. So with that, have a good Wednesday, and let's hope this rain will stay away for the rest of the week. Take care.